start a question.
What went through your mind after the injury last week where somebody stepped on your toe?
I mean, yeah, at first it just, felt, we get our feet stepped on all the time at practice, so it just felt normal at first when I first got stepped on. But I tried walking off and it felt weird, like something was almost stuck in my toe. So I didn't really know what to think. I just knew something was wrong. So I just went up on the sidelines and got carted and got the MRI and X-ray. And luckily they said it was just dislocated it. So, God was definitely looking out that day, but, I'm glad to be back on the field working.
How relieved were you that it wasn't anything more serious?
I'm very relieved. Like I said, God was definitely looking out. And, I'm just blessed to be here today, blessed to be on the practice field.
Has it limited you at all since you've come back?
For the first few days, of course, but, it's kind of working its way back to 100% now.
What was your assessment of just how the offense performed today?
I think we started off very slow at the start. And at the end of the practice, the last period, I think we ramped it up a bit. But definitely want to come out the stronger start. We can't warm up to things. We can't have a few bad reps and then, bring it all up and talk with each other and then decide to, all right, let's go. It's got to be right out the gate. So.
Why did you think the offense started out slow?
I don't know. But like I said, the heat, that's not an excuse. It's hot everywhere. It's hot here, hot in New England, hot in Miami, hot, everywhere. Like I said, it's not an excuse. It's our second day in pads. But like I said, we always want to come out the gate hot.
It seems like you and Mason are building some chemistry. What's been the process like with him and getting to know him and his tendencies and all that?
Yeah, Mason's, he doesn't talk a lot. He does work a lot though. From the moment he got here, he's been working, his head down working. He doesn't make, really any mental mistakes, at least from what I've seen. He's a great route runner. He's smooth, has natural hands, so he's been great so far.
Were you aware that when you went out on the carpet, like this panic on social media among Jet fans?
Yeah, my phone.
If you got your phone blew up with people.
Yeah, my phone blew up a little bit, of course. But like I said, once I got the results back, then everything was all good after that.
Are you wearing any special cleat or anything to protect your toe?
Yeah, I just got like this little plastic cover. My man's came with it, so almost like a little steel toe, but it's a plastic toe. But we kind of came up with that idea, and just to try to protect it for these next couple of weeks.
How anxious were you to get back out there in terms of not missing reps? Obviously, new team.
Yeah, of course, this is the time where you get those reps. You get those new installation plays in. So I think this time is very valuable in terms of getting repetitions, getting on the same page with your guys, especially when you're learning new concepts and stuff like that. So definitely didn't want to miss much time, and that's why I was kind of so eager to want to get back on the field and wanting to keep going.
I know it's about the team and you guys are all trying to build something, but how do you evaluate yourself these last 2 days since you've come back?
I think I've been all right. I think I'm always going to say there's room to improve. Like I said today, the offense as a whole, we didn't start off great. I think I think we finished off great. But like I said, we want to start fast, finish fast, and of course maintain that in between as well.
Looking ahead, what are some expectations you have for yourself?
Except for myself, just be the best leader on this team I can be. I think that's the biggest thing. Just being in my position, leading this offense, having us reach our full potential. Me being the best player and also elevating the players around me, and competing each and every day out here. I think those are my main goals right now, at least. But I'm just taking it day by day.
How have you been elevating the players around you while also working on your personal growth and improvement?
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand. Of course, the better I make the players around me, the better I'm going to perform. So I think it's just working together as an offense, working together as a team, and just getting extra reps. Talking through different concepts, talking through different routes, and just making sure that chemistry's there.
Coming into OTAs, minicamp, just kind of what was your goals heading into getting the same goal with AG?
My goal was focused on today's practice, and today's practice, the only mindset I had was to win. And so, that's pretty much my goal every day. I don't really focus on the future. I like to focus on straightforward, and I like to focus on today because that's the only thing that I can work on today. I can't work on tomorrow, and I can't work on yesterday. So today is the only thing that I'm really focused on.
How do you think you did today?
Like I did very good. Great execution.
You took a huge leap last year with getting to 10.5 sacks. What's your expected leap this year?
Because just continue to do better. Like I said, focus is keeping my balance between football, life. I just like to win that life, win that football, win that, making sure that I'm putting the right foods in my body, getting stronger, and that's mainly just like my ultimate goal is just to win every day.
AG said you added weight coming in this year. How did you go about that?
It was easy. I mean, just continue to pound food, lift weights, just make sure that I stay consistent. I think one thing that I was missing last year was my consistency, and I think the big thing is that change is always inconsistency, and if you don't have change, then you're not doing something right. So to me, just continuing to change and just to get better and win every day is my mindset.
What exactly were you eating like to be able to gain that weight?
Just a lot of protein, food, carbs, all of that. Just pounding food, about 6 meals a day. Just continuing to just grab on, all of that type of stuff. Eventually just get my weight up, my power and strength.
How much did you add?
You said what?
How much weight did you add?
15 pounds. So before this, I was around I want to say I was around 235, OTAs. I went down on purpose because I'm trying to get all that fat out, trying to get more muscle mass. And then, just come with eating right foods, all of that. And, I was able to gain a couple pounds from doing that. And now I'm out here balling. And so, that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Do you notice any difference in anything from, with that weight or?
There's strength, explosiveness, and it's not just that, just making sure that I'm controlling my body, seeing what I'm hitting, hearing everything, looking around. That all plays in effect, and like I said, if you're not changing your game, then you're not being consistent with what you're doing.
We saw you have some power Saturday with the power move on member. Is that an element of your game you want to add to? I mean, everyone knows your speed. Is power something you want to bring to your game this year?
It was already added. I just never really utilized it, as well as I should. Like I said, I had to change, my approach with everything. Just doing that. Obviously, everybody knows that I like to, speed, spin, all of that. But, once I get tackles on their heels, I'm able to get that power and that strength thing.
Aaron Glenn has made it clear that he's a big believer in you. Just what's it been like getting to know him and receiving coaching from him?
He's a real down to earth man. He treat me like his own son. I can't say too much, but I know he got my back, so I'm not really worried about too much of anything bad happening. I think he has everybody heads on their shoulders around this team, and we should be doing just fine.
How much have you been enjoying those battles with Membo, the rookie coming in?
It's fun. It's real fun. Membo, he me and him, been working on a lot. We watch film, talk about a lot of things. Membo could definitely hold his own around in the league. I think he's going to be one of the best tackles in the league at some point. And this year, I know for sure he's going to ball out. Us just going back and forth. Him, Olu, they both, all the three of us just be in a room talking, boom, boom. And both of them, both of them is going to be the best tackles in the league.
When do you decide that you added power to your game? And you're going to use speed when you're going to use power?
I really just kind of plan my approach of what I want them to do. I don't really, try to play chess. I want to put the pieces on the board for myself. And so, in that aspect, it's really them against me, and it's really me against 5. So, that's really my mindset. Just getting them to do what I want them to do, and rather it be speed, power, whatever I do, just continuing to change my game, like I said.
Take a couple more. Do you find, because when your spin move is so well known that you had so much success with it last year, do you find that you get, once you do it once on a guy, the attack is sort of leaning in one direction, and then that's when you hit him with the power?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that's when I came, just hit him with the power. Like I said, all they do is just set on my speed. So, I think it was very good for me to utilize, my power, be able to control what I'm doing, and, just getting after it.
Was there a sack total that would make you happy this year?
No, not at all. I have no sack total. Whenever I approach the game, the game is going to be the game, and I'm going to ball out, and, that's going to be it.
How do you think you and Jermaine could potentially complement each other? Obviously, you broke out last year. Jermaine went down the rookie season. He's on the mend, working his way back.
Me and Jermaine going to be ballers this season. That's all I got to tell you. Man, we're going to ball out. We're going to do our thing. I trust him. He trusts me. The D-line trusts us. We trust the D-line. So, once we get on that field, we trust each other enough to get the job done.
Would it be fun to get your own quarterback in week 1, Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I always wanted to, sack Rodgers, from a little kid. Actually, let me not say that, because a little kid, I wasn't even interested in playing football. But I did watch him, though. I watched him a lot. But, once I, like I said, when I first came here, obviously I wasn't, able to do that because we were on the team. But now, I think he's going to be very competitive. I'm sure he already knows, what I'm about. So I'm sure he's going to have his head on his shoulders. Obviously he's a vet, so I'm sure he got a couple tricks up his sleeve.